So I'm going to call the meeting to order at 10:22. And the first item in the agenda is public comment. So Shelley, if you can please proceed with that.
Sure. If you'd like to make a public comment, please unmute yourself and state your name and your company affiliation. This is the only time on the agenda that public comment will be allowed. Is there anyone just to make a public comment? It doesn't sound like there are any comments, so we can move on.
Thank you, Shelley. So we have a couple of people that are going to be retired. One is a staff member, Peg, and the other one is Ian Foley from OPM. We wanted to wish them luck. We want to thank them for their services. And Nandini is going to make a recognition to both of them.
Thank you.
Nandini?
Thank you. Good morning, members, Madam Chair and members of the board. I have the privilege today to acknowledge two individuals who played critical roles in Connecticut state government and in carrying out the mission of the authority. First, CHFA wishes to thank Ann Foley, who has announced her retirement from state service after 34 years as of October 1st. CHFA has been very fortunate to have been guided by Ann's policy and budget expertise in affordable housing since 2011 upon her designation to the board by then OPM Secretary Ben Barnes and later by Secretary Melissa McCaw. CHFA is grateful to have worked with Ann, who has guided the agency through many complex decisions with knowledge, poise, and dedication. This will be Ann's last meeting, and we wish for her a wonderful retirement. We'd like to send Ann off with a proclamation signed by Governor Ned Lamont, which I'm going to be reading from. I have it right here. On behalf of the state of Connecticut, I, Ned Lamont, Governor, take great pleasure in congratulating Ann Foley on the occasion of your retirement from the Connecticut Housing Finance Authority Board of Directors. You retire after 34 years of dedicated service to the state of Connecticut. Throughout your long tenure, you've epitomized a great leader, teacher, and human being. Your compassion for humanity, combined with your commitment to improving the lives of so many, is limitless. Your patience and empathy, fortitude and perseverance is what has helped so many Connecticut residents grow and succeed. In your years as a member of the CHFA Board of Directors, your guidance, knowledge, and professionalism have helped drive the agency's mission since you were appointed in 2011. As chairwoman of the Mortgage Committee for 8 years, you have guided the agency through many complex decisions. You are a true advocate for affordable housing and a leader in the fight to increase the supply of affordable housing for state residents, whose hard work and dedication will forever be appreciated. I applaud your lengthy and notable career and wish you the very best for a happy and healthy retirement. Therefore, I, Ned Lamont, Governor of the state of Connecticut, do hereby convey honor and recognition upon Ann Foley in the state of Connecticut.
Thank you, Nanthani. I really appreciate that from you, Governor. And honestly, it's been my honor and privilege to serve on the board and as Mortgage Committee Chair for almost 10 years now. And I'm really proud of the work that the board and especially the staff have done to bring affordable housing to Connecticut residents. But you probably all know that I'm particularly passionate about our work in supportive housing. Many of you may not know that I was on the team that brought supportive housing to the state back in the early 1990s through the demonstration program. Getting that up and going and running, and it's really been such a successful approach to addressing homelessness in Connecticut. You really see that when you go to other states. You know, we were the first state to have it statewide, and we won an award for our innovative approach to interagency coordination to bring it across the state. So I'm so proud of our work together on that in particular. But thank you all, board and staff, so much for your work on behalf of Connecticut residents to bring affordable and supportive housing to across the state. So, thank you.
Thanks.
And I'm glad I'm going at the same time as Peg, my dear mentor.
That's
Peg.
good segue. CHFA would also like to express sincere gratitude to Peg Fitzgerald. I see her on the screen, who leaves her post as CHFA's Director of Government Relations as of October 1 after 42 years of state service. Peg has been instrumental to the state and CHFA in support of affordable housing. She has been a trusted partner and confidant to many executive directors in her long career. Last fall, she became the recipient of CHFA's first ever Orist T. Dubno Award for Outstanding Public Service, ironically awarded to her by Anne at the event. A respected and much admired colleague, Peg has made significant contributions to CHFA's legislative agenda over the years. She'll be sorely missed and never forgotten. We'd like to send Peg off with a proclamation signed by Governor Lamont, which I'm going to read. I have it right here. On behalf of the state of Connecticut, I, Ned Lamont, Governor, take great pleasure in congratulating Peg Fitzgerald on the occasion of your retirement from the Connecticut Housing Finance Authority. You retire after 42 years of dedicated service to the state of Connecticut. Throughout your long tenure, you have been the consummate public servant, having worked tirelessly in state government as a leader and a fighter for so many, including those without a voice. You have been a mentor, generously sharing your knowledge and insight with those fortunate enough to cross your path. Having led an extraordinary career, your work will be felt infinitely by many lives far and beyond. In your years at the Connecticut Housing Finance Authority, since joining 1990, your dedication and commitment to the agency mission and affordable housing has resulted in profound and countless achievements. Purposeful and hardworking in all you do, your work has been a true gift to our state. I applaud your lengthy and notable career and wish you the very best for a happy and healthy retirement. Therefore, I, Ned Lamont, Governor of the state of Connecticut, do hereby convey honor and recognition upon Peg Fitzgerald in the state of Connecticut. In addition, Representative Joe Courtney of the U.S. Congress has written a congratulatory letter to Peg and intends to read the letter into the House record. I'm not going to read that letter in the interest of time, but we will be providing a copy of the proclamation and the letter to both Peg and Anne shortly.
Thank you, Nandini, and congratulations, good luck, enjoy your retirement as much as you have enjoyed working for the state. Thank you for your contribution. Next on the agenda is the reports, CEO, Executive Director's reports. Nandini?
Yep, thank you. Good morning again. It's been a busy couple of months. We haven't seen each other in 2 months and a lot has happened. First, I want to give an update on the TMAP program, which is our temporary mortgage assistance program. You might recall that we launched this program in July, making $10 million available from the EMAP program to assist homeowners who were affected by COVID. And this program was made possible pursuant to Executive Order 7GGG. In terms of an update for the program, in August, we received 218 inquiries for assistance through the program. For both July and August, the numbers are approximately 435 inquiries. The number of eligible applicants, however, is only 46. So the acceptance rate is about 10%, very low. And we've been mulling over sort of what may be causing the low acceptance rate. So of course, we've tried to do marketing around this program. We've been reaching out both using social media, regular media outlets. We've been in touch with town clerk offices to make them aware of both EMAP and TMAP. They both are mortgage assistance programs, but they're slightly different in their in the targeted audience they're trying to reach. We're also looking at ways we can work better with some of the advocacy organizations like the Fair Housing Center to pair their programs with TMAP, as well as reaching out directly to our servicers and making them aware, like at the back office level, that there's work that they could be doing with homeowners as they're doing loss mitigation activities, providing the information about TMAP. So very high level, I think some of the reasons we're seeing a low acceptance rate could be, one of course is foreclosures and evictions have been suspended until the end of the year. And so we would anticipate that, you know, homeowners who are having trouble making payments may not be feeling the pressure yet to take any sort of serious action. Two, there are most of these TMAP, the targeted audience for TMAP are people who have non-federally insured loans. So these tend to be balance sheet loans on lenders' balance sheets, or private label, non-conforming loans, like not Fannie, Freddie, or Ginnie eligible loans. And what we're hearing, anecdotally, can't say, you know, we did a strict survey or anything, but we reached out to a few partners. They are providing, lenders are providing forbearance and deferral options that are similar to what are being provided on federally insured loans. There may be, you know, there's assistance that homeowners are getting from their servicers and from their lenders, which may be obviating the need for additional, you know, additional assistance in the form of a second mortgage loan through the TMAP program. So again, not too concerned at the moment. I think as we get into the early spring next year, we'll probably see a change in demand for this program as foreclosures are allowable again, or as forbearances come out of their, you know, homeowners come out of their forbearance periods and start to look at their different options for paying back the arrearages. In terms of an update on TRHAP, which is the rental assistance program, as you might recall, that was a joint effort with DOH. The program is being shepherded, or the application process is being provided through housing counseling agencies, HUD certified nonprofits. The program is currently paused due to oversubscription. We've reached the maximum number of people we can help with the current funding. There are some changes in the process that are being worked through with DOH to make it more streamlined. And we are working with DOH to consider how CHFA can be more of a partner here. We're looking at how we can reallocate our staffing and resources to provide some support to the housing counseling agencies in processing approximately 5,000 applications before the end of the year, which is a deadline that we have to meet as per the CARES Act funding. So with that, I know we're short on time. I will very quickly just say that the strategic planning has been going on in full swing. A few of you are involved in those meetings. We've held 16 meetings to date. We're now going to be taking all of the meeting information and consolidating it and creating prioritizations and sequencing of how things will flow in the next 3 years. We intend to come to you in October with a plan that will revisit our mission, vision, values. We'll have our objectives laid out with action plans. It will have KPIs or measurable success measures, as well as potential initiatives and projects that we can use to help us get to successes for each of those KPIs. So I'm really excited about this. I think it's going to be a lot of work, but I do believe that it's achievable with the right prioritization. So with that, I will open it up to questions or back to the commission.
Thank you, Nandini. Any questions from the board members? I think we have all the rest of the board members from the finance committee. So I'm going to ask Peg if Peg Fitzgerald wants to say a few remarks. Peg?
Sorry, I was muted. That's something different for me. I just want to thank everyone very much. I love CHFA. It's very emotional for me. I'm Irish, so you have to understand that. But thank everyone very much for all your support, all the staff. I've met great people in my life, and it's just a blessing for me. And thank you all very much.
Thank you, Peg, for all your work, all the years of services. I know that the citizens of Connecticut appreciate all the work you have done for affordable housing. Thank you. We have the finance and audit committee resolutions. Hazin, are you in the room?
Yes. Okay. So good morning, Madam Chair and members of the board. I will be requesting approval for 2 bond resolutions. The first resolution is to authorize CHFA to issue up to $235 million of the Housing Mortgage Finance Program bonds. The sale will raise additional lending proceeds for the first-time homebuyer program and refund certain outstanding bonds to take advantage of the lower interest rate. Staff presented the resolution to Finance Committee, and the committee did ask one question regarding the reason behind the refunding. We provided that the reason behind the refunding was due to save on bond interest rate and also to preserve bond volume cap. The resolution was approved unanimously by the committee. The second resolution is to authorize CHFA to issue up to $60 million of the state-supported special obligation bonds. The sale will help the funding of 11 group homes totaling $7 million and refund certain outstanding bonds to take advantage of the lower interest rate. Since the payment to bondholders are backed directly and indirectly by the state will realize future interest rate savings from the refunding. Staff presented the resolution to Finance Committee, and the committee asked the question about the underwriting selection, how assignment was made. We responded to the committee that it was based on a previously approved RFP, and the authority plans to issue a new RFP next year. So prior to the issuance of that RFP, we will solicit feedback from the board. The committee approved the resolution unanimously. I'll be happy to answer any questions the board may have for either one resolution.
Thank you, Hazim. Questions? All right, so can I have a motion to approve the first resolution, the authorization to the preparations for the 2020 series bond issue for single family?
Jared, I'll move it.
Tim.
Jared and Tim. Shelley, could you do the roll call if there is no other questions for the committee? Or Jared, do you want to add anything?
I have nothing to add. I think Hazim stated it well.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you. Shelley, could you do the roll call, please?
Yes. Jerry Abrahams?
Aye.
Wendy Clark? Don't believe she's present. Heidi DeWinger?
Aye.
Ann Foley?
Aye.
Kylie Goslin? Tim Hodges?
Aye.
Catherine McKinnon?
Aye.
Salem Mascara Bruno?
Aye.
George Perez?
Yes.
Franklin Perry? Sarah Sanders?
Aye.
Jared Schmidt?
Aye.
Lisa Tepper Bates?
Aye.
Gwendolyn Thames? It's unanimous for those present.
Thank you, Shelley. Motion carries. The second resolution, may I have a motion to, for the resolution for the authorization to commence necessary preparations for the state-sponsored special obligation bonds?
I'll move. Jerry Abrahams.
Can I have
I'll
a
second, Tim.
Tim seconded. Any questions? Okay, Shelley, could you please do the roll call?
Abrahams?
Aye.
Heidi DeWinger?
Aye.
Ann Foley?
Aye.
Kylie Goslin?
Aye.
Tim Hodges?
Aye.
Catherine McKinnon?
Sorry. Aye.
Salem Mascara Bruno?
Yes.
George Perez?
Yes.
Sarah Sanders?
Aye.
Jared Schmidt?
Aye.
Lisa Tepper Bates?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Motion carried. Thank you, Shelley. Next on our agenda is the mortgage committee resolutions. Masura Omar will present the three resolutions, and then we'll do the same at the roll call. Masura?
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. Yeah, I would like to quickly provide a description of each action item that are being recommended by Mortgage Committee for your approval. We also have staff available as well as feedback from Mortgage Committee. So the three items are 540 New Park, Willow Creek 3 apartments, and Market Square apartments. Starting with 540 New Park, this is approval of taxable bonds for a permanent first mortgage loan of up to $4,450,000 with a term of 20 years, 35-year amortization. The interest rate is at 4.2% to be locked at the time of the construction lender's closing. Funding of the permanent loan is expected to take place no later than 24 months from the construction loan closing date. This permanent loan may be prepaid in full after 15 years, provided the refinance is done with CHFA at the then offered terms and conditions. This is for a 52-unit new construction in West Hartford. The development received 9% tax credits in the 2020 round. The developer is Trout Brook Realty Advisors, which is an affiliate of the West Hartford Housing Authority. So with that, we would be happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Any questions for Masura on 540 New Park?
This is Ann. Can I just, a couple of things. I don't know, Masuda, if you talked about the new financing mechanism that we're using on this one. And I think
yes, I would be happy to describe the, so for 540 New Park as well as for Willow Creek 3 apartments, CHFA recently launched a 9% permanent only product. This product is designed to partner with banks and investors who often would like to do the construction financing on tax credit developments. So this is really a win-win. It also allows CHFA to put a long-term asset on its balance sheet. So we were able to work with finance and legal and multifamily staff to design this product. It is a permanent only structure. As I mentioned, this is also a 24-month forward rate lock that allows the developer to lock in the interest rate on the permanent loan prior to the construction loan closing. The term is a 20-year, and then it also comes with a 35-year amortization. And again, as I mentioned, we are allowing early prepayment provided that that refinance is done with CHFA at the time of, whatever our terms and offers may be, subject to availability of funding. Again, we're excited to offer this new product. And so the first 2 deals that you're considering will be done under the permanent only product.
Thank you, Masuda. And I just want to note that there was considerable discussion on this one in the mortgage committee, mostly with regard to the commercial space that will be on the ground floor of this project, and the motion that was ultimately adopted included approval. It was unanimous approval of the adoption of the resolution, but also added direction to staff to go back to the developer and ask for a backup plan with regard to the commercial space. There was the discussion pointed to some concerns about commercial space going forward, the need for commercial space, and the ability to keep commercial space used and not vacant. So that was part of the discussion. The other part of the discussion that wasn't part of the motion, but we did ask staff to provide an analysis for our review of commercial space in existing projects, maybe over the past couple years or however long far back they want to go and look at that. So I just wanted to raise that for the board to understand.
Thank you, Anne. Questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
About the 11 units that are over 120% of AMI. Is there any cap on the incomes for those, or it could be anything up above 120?
So those are market rate units, and there's no income restriction on them at all. Could be no cap.
And how do they? Is it just first come, first served for them?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions on 540? May I have a motion to approve the resolution?
So I will move it with the amendment that we talked about in the mortgage committee, that staff ask the developer to also have a plan B or a backup plan with regard to the commercial space if it becomes clear that that's not viable.
Thank you, Anne. Can I have a
I'll
second?
second. It's Heidi.
Thank you. Shelley, could you do the roll call, please?
Jerry Abrahams.
Aye.
Heidi Dellinger.
Aye.
Ann Foley.
Aye.
Kylie Goslin.
Aye.
Tim Hodges.
Abstained.
Catherine McKinnon.
Aye.
Sheila Mascara Bruno.
Yes.
George Perez.
Yes.
Jared Schmidt.
Aye.
Sarah Sanders.
Aye.
Lisa Tepper Bates.
Aye.
One abstention.
Thank you, Shelley. Motion carries. Masuda, could you continue with Willow Creek Apartments?
Yes, thank you. So the next action item before you is approval of taxable bonds. This is also for a permanent only first mortgage of up to $2.8 million with a maximum term of 20 years and amortization of 35 years. The interest rate is up to 4.45%. It will be locked at the time of the construction lender's closing. This is the third phase to replace the old public housing units at the Chester A. Bowles Park, owned by the Hartford Housing Authority. This is new construction of 30-unit mixed income development in the city of Hartford. The developer is JHM Group, along with the Housing Authority of the city of Hartford. This development received 9% tax credits in the 2018 round. So with that, we're happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Masuda? May I have a motion to approve the motion for Willow Creek Apartments?
So moved by Ann.
Can I have a second? Who's that? Who was that for the second? Can I have a second?
I'll second. It's Heidi.
Tim, I'll second.
Thank you, Heidi. Thank you. Kelly, could you do the roll call, please?
Jerry Abrahams,
Aye.
Heidi DeWinger,
Aye.
Ann Foley,
Aye.
Kylie Goslin,
Aye.
Tim Hodges,
Aye.
Catherine McKinnon,
Aye.
Salem Mascara Bruno,
Aye.
George Perez,
Yes.
Sarah Sanders,
Aye.
Jared Schmidt,
Aye.
and Lisa Tepper Bates.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Thank you. Motion carries. Masuda, you are next again. Market Square Apartments.
Yes, the last item on the agenda for multifamily is Market Square Apartments. This is a preservation opportunity to recapitalize using 4% tax credits and tax-exempt bonds. Approval is issuing tax-exempt bonds for a permanent first lien mortgage loan of up to $8,221,500 with a term and amortization of 35 years at an interest rate of up to 4.5%. The tax-exempt bonds will be fully drawn at closing. Additionally, the board is being asked to approve the prepayment of an ITA loan for approximately $72,000 and use of residual receipts for approximately $74,000 as a source on the recapitalization. Again, this development is a preservation. It consists of 75 units targeting seniors 62 and older who are earning at or below 50% of AMI. This development is located in Newington, and it is governed by a Section 8 HAP contract. So with that said, we would be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Masuda. Any questions for Masuda on Market Square Apartments? All right. May I have a motion to approve the resolution?
I'll move it. It's Ann Foley.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Lisa. Shelley, could you do the roll call, please?
Jerry Abrahams,
Aye.
Heidi DeWinger,
Aye.
Ann Foley,
Aye.
Kylie Goslin,
Aye.
Tim Hodges,
Aye.
Catherine McKinnon,
Aye.
Salem Mascara Bruno,
Aye.
George Perez,
Yes.
Sarah Sanders,
Aye.
Jared Schmidt,
Aye.
Lisa Tepper Bates.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Motion carries. Thank you, Masuda, for the report and the resolutions. Moving on, Hazin, you're going to come back and give us a report on the sustainability bonds and environmental social governance initiative.
Yes, so good morning again, thank you. I'm joined by Jeff Prue from Morgan Stanley, and we have something exciting to share with the board. It is on an initiative that relates and impacts CHFA's mission and bond program. Over the last decade, there has been a strong movement within the investors community to invest in ESG, or environmental, social, and governance. This ESG movement led to the creation of 3 bond designations: green bond, social bond, and sustainability bond. These designations are important because they help investors identify their desired investment. While we are not the first, we felt that there's an opportunity for CHFA to tap into this market while showcasing and promoting our energy efficient and environmental sustainable multifamily rental projects. With the help of Jeff and his team, we plan to issue our first sustainability designation bond before the end of this year. I'm now going to hand it over to Jeff, who's going to provide some color about ESG and where it's heading. Jeff, take it away. I hope you're not muted, Jeff. Jeff?
I hope.
Mr.
Maybe he
Pru.
left.
No, I can see his face. He's having technical difficulties. One second, so I guess he's going to try and dial in.
So he's dialing in, right?
Yeah. I can see him dialing in, and he's putting his thumbs up. We always try to do our best when it comes to technology.
It's wonderful when it works.
Yeah.
Okay, can you?
You may need to switch off the your computer's either mic and.
I was able to mute him from the Zoom.
And now I think, can you get me now?
Yep, you're good. So.
Perfect, thank you. Switch devices. I had just got a new iPad, so I'm flipping over to my other one. So apologies for that. And wanted to just thank everybody for the opportunity here to talk with you about socially responsible investment and the use of green, social, and sustainability bonds designations. This is a growing trend in the market today, and the state is very familiar with the use of green bonds, having used the green bond designations very successfully for its SRF program, green, and also the GO issuances as well. The sustainability bonds are a little bit different from green, and I'll get into those differences in a minute, and the difference between 3 designations just for background. Also want to go through best practices, the benefits that we see in the market, and how we'll be approaching this for CHFA. And looking at this, this first slide, this is just a little bit of background and to show you why we're doing this. It's about increasing the word about CHFA's mission and putting that forward to investors so that the investors can purchase your bonds and then put them into their funds for those that are investing who want to invest in mission. And more we're seeing both retail and institutional investors who really want to get into this. Morgan Stanley has done extensive surveys. 85% of individual investors are interested in this type of product. 95% of millennials are there, and asset management managers, because of that, are moving in that direction, and funds are creating ESG themed funds specifically targeted to this area. The bar chart in the middle of the page just shows you the rapid growth in assets under management in this range, and globally we're talking about 30 trillion. This survey was done last in 2018, so it's even higher today. Just flipping to the next page, you will be joining a great group here of others that have been in the market. Most recently, ESG designations have been used for COVID relief, and specifically with the foundations that have been coming into the market. We've worked with MacArthur, Doris Duke, and Ford Foundation, all for their COVID relief programs, and really what was groundbreaking for them because they accessed the bond markets as opposed to PAYGO, which is what they usually do. Also for the HFA industry, you're joining good company with a number of the local New England HFAs that use a sustainability bond designation for their multifamily programs. We did the inaugural issuance for Rhode Island in the fall, same thing for Mass Housing. In those sales, it increased the investors who were coming in, and also as a result of that allowed for a lower cost of funds. And we've got a couple of examples of that in just a minute. So turning to the next slide, this whole space is quite developed at this point, and it's all based upon the principles that are put out by the International Capital Markets Association. Best practices is to set up any kind of green, social, or sustainability bond designated issue under the ICMA green, social, and sustainability bond principles. There are 3 buckets. Green, that's stuff that's specifically oriented for environmental outcomes. Social, which is all about social outcomes, but doesn't really include an environmental aspect. And then third is the sustainability bond, which is the intersection of the two and takes characteristics of a project that are green and social. This Venn diagram shows it really nicely. And in the middle, under sustainability bonds, it should actually say multifamily housing. And that is in line with, on the environmental side, the green standards that most HFAs employ because of statewide standards, and also the tax credit programs and the allocation of tax credits require some green components and energy efficiency. And then, of course, for social bonds and the social aspect here, this is quite obvious with the renters that we are helping and the AMI bands that are being assisted. So for all intents and purposes, we're talking about 60% of AMI and below. And when you incorporate things like permanent supportive housing and other attributes associated with the multifamily program, it's a real winner, and it's a clear spot that works for the institutional and retail investors who want this product. Turning to the next slide, this is again about the best practices that are being used currently, and we're aligning the purpose of the transaction with the social bond principles and the sustainability bond guidelines, but we also line it up with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We started doing this 2 years ago in response to some of the large institutional investors in this space, specifically PIMCO, who was calling for additional metrics to allow them to evaluate an ESG designated bond transaction. So one of the things that investors don't like is for issuers to just put a designation on their transaction without backing it up with any of the real uses and getting to people that are being served, as we are with low income and moderate income housing in Connecticut. So the UN Sustainable Development Goals, there are 17 of them. They're listed in the little boxes down on the bottom of the page. And for multifamily housing, we generally will use 3 of them. They're circled in blue: no poverty, affordable and clean energy, and sustainable cities and communities. And each of those squarely fits within what you do with your program on a day-to-day basis, and we are really underscoring that here. The next slide just drills down on that a little bit further so you can see it. No Poverty is about equal rights to economic resources, basic services, and ownership of property and control of property. So this then aligns with the social bond principle that we're looking to market: affordable housing, better socioeconomic advancement and empowerment, and then access to essential services. If there's one thing that's an essential service, it's housing. So this fits clearly in our view and the market's view as well. Next is affordable and clean energy. And under your multifamily design, construction, and sustainability standards, this fits very well there too. It's about affordable and reliable energy, renewable sources, and efficiency. And then finally, sustainable cities and communities. I don't think I need to talk about that any further because I think it's pretty much self-evident. Next slide gives you an indication. We're always asked when we talk to boards and the executive leadership teams for our clients about, well, it's a great thing to promote our mission to do this, and we get it from that perspective, but how is it helping us on pricing our bond transactions? And what it does is it attracts incremental orders into the transaction. We just recently, this week and last week, did 2 ESG issuances, one for Rhode Island and one for the state of Florida. And both of those attracted new investors for each of the accounts. You can see on this page 4 sustainability bonds designated transactions that we've done for our issuer clients recently. And what you can see in each of the grids are the orders that came in that were ESG focused, and they're shaded in the yellow. So wherever those orders came in, that helped the overall pricing. And to the extent that we were oversubscribed in maturities, we were able to lower the interest rate cost. So it does operate to the benefit of the issuer in terms of cost. From a year or so, 2 years, we weren't really able to identify that interest rate savings. We can firmly do that and tell you that there is a benefit to doing this designation and marketing the bonds in this way. It's because, turning to the next slide, we have a very broad base of investors for this product at this point. To give you an indication of who's doing this and who's buying the bonds for ESG and green, social, and sustainability designations. The list here on this page is quite long, and these are investors who have purchased into our senior managed transactions in ESG designated deals over the last 2 years. So that just gives you an overall view on the breadth of the overall market. And how we intend to do this with your upcoming sale, and we're very excited about this opportunity because we think it is going to be very meaningful for CHFA for not only this multifamily deal, but for multifamily deals to come, is a very straightforward setup. There are some changes to the disclosure that we'll be making, mostly in the form of a new appendix, which lays out the 4 prongs of the ICMA sustainability bond standards. That's the use of the proceeds, the project evaluation, management of proceeds, and reporting. Each of these we've streamlined and are telling the buyers what they're getting. And what they're getting is bonds that are being issued to finance LIHTC projects in Connecticut for low-income earners. And the next slide does a really nice job of showing how we will talk to the investment community about this. This lays out the projects that we have at this point and are expecting to go into the financing that is scheduled to go into the market the week of the 12th. The projects are listed down the left of the page. Physical structure gives the investors an understanding of what the building is. And then the AMI bands. This is critical for these investors because what they want to see is that the use of the proceeds are going to support underserved communities, and clearly this is. The investors are also interested in whether there's LIHTC, if there's subsidy going into the transactions, and then the expected green and energy efficiency things that are being put into the buildings themselves. So we're very excited about this, and we will be providing an update on how the marketing goes and what the benefit is and who the investors are post-sale, but wanted to give you all a overview of what's going on because this will be the inaugural sustainability bonds issue for Connecticut HFA, and we're very, very, very happy and thankful to be a part of this and to help you with it. And I would just open it up to any questions if anybody has anything at this point.
Thank you, Jeff. This is very exciting to be able to pair bond financing with our state sustainability goals. Any questions from other board members?
Yeah, this is Kylie. I just have a quick question on the social bond measurement side. I know you don't have full information about sort of how that's calculated, but you have some elements of it in here. And I'm wondering if racial equity and racial inequality as it relates to the, for example, employment and socioeconomic disadvantages you've cited here under the social bond is something that's part of the calculation or consideration for that, or is it something that may be added in the future? Any conversation around that?
That is an excellent and timely question. And the answer to that is it is important. For multifamily housing, it is reaching households of color most definitely is something that the market is interested in. And for multifamily housing as well, it's about, as mentioned, it's about the income bands and the household income for the renters. And yours are all LIHTC developments. So on average, you get to the 60% of AMI. So the social aspect of the use of the money here is very, very clear and so obvious that as long as this type of information is relayed to the investor community, you've checked off the box for them. It will be incrementally advantageous to include information about demographics to the extent that that can be done. We most recently, in the transaction that we did for the state of Florida last week, we did include an indication of the portfolio that are households of color, and it's about 50% there. So I think that that's an important thing that we'll see more of as we continue to do this. So appreciate that question.
Would it be possible for you to share these slides with the board?
Yeah, definitely. Hazim has these, and so we can send them around to everybody. More than happy to have you take these, and if you want to use them for other purposes, please do.
Yeah, we can circulate it to all members.
Thank you, Hazim and Jeff.
Any other questions? Okay, Jeff, thank you very much for the presentation.
Yes, thank you. And sorry about the technical glitch at the beginning. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you. Next, we're going to have an update on the temporary financial accommodations for multifamily mortgagors due to COVID-19. Masuda will give us an update. Masuda?
Oh, good morning. I was on mute, so I apologize. Yeah, I will be very quick in the interest of time. To date, forbearance agreements have been entered with 7 mortgagors. CHFA has not received any new applications since the July board meeting. overall demand for the forbearance continues to be lower than expected. As a percentage of the multifamily portfolio, this represents just over 1.9% of the total unpaid principal balance. This week, we did receive an inquiry from a mortgager who previously received approval under this program, seeking additional relief. So that request is under review by staff at this time. And then of note, I will also just quickly mention 323 Fairfield at Bijou Square. That's on that report. That mortgager has executed a pre-workout agreement, and we do plan to return to the board at a later date for a modification of the mortgage terms. In addition, staff has processed a small number of requests for suspension of replacement reserves, as well as reimbursement for COVID expenses as permitted in under their regulatory agreement. The forbearance program will continue to be available through the end of the year, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Masura. Questions for Masura? I will count to 3, and if not, then I'll move on. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Masura, thank you very much for the update.
Thank you.
For the consent agenda, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Madam Chair, can I raise something about the consent agenda, at least from finance?
Sure.
Jared, one of the reasons why the meeting went long was because we were having a discussion, or I was introducing to them an alternative financing product for the single family program. So he recommended that I at least describe it generally to the full board, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Okay. So good morning again. If you are able to take a look in the packet, there is an item or a report called an alternative funding strategy for single family program. So I'm just going to give a broad brush in terms of what we are thinking of pursuing. As you know, when we provide any type of financing, we raise the proceeds for that financing by selling bonds. And the idea behind that concept is to generate some type of a premium from the asset so that once we have paid the obligation on the bonds, we will generate an annuity, and that annuity is used to pay for our operating expenses. Or if we have anything left over, we can then use that excess for mission-driven initiative. Alternatively, we could also make the loans, package them, and just sell them off. And then with the hope that when we sell them off, we sell it at a premium. And then we will use the proceeds along with the premium to make new loans, and the premium will then pay for our operating expenses. We typically don't go and pursue the second option, which is to make loans and sell them off totally, because we prefer annuity versus generating upfront income to run the business. So what has transpired because of COVID, there is a market where we can essentially sell the mortgage-backed securities that we made, but in return, instead of we get the upfront premium, we are able to monetize the upfront premium as an annuity over a period of time. The annuity at the present time is actually better or higher than a spread that we would make if we had sold bonds. I did identify, benefits if we go down this execution. One of them is volume cap. As you know, for us to provide low interest rate for single family, we need to sell the bonds as tax exempt. But once we use volume cap, which is very scarce and limited, we are not able to use the same volume cap for multifamily, which also needs it for its tax credit. So by pursuing this execution, which is taxable, it will provide some relief to the demand for volume cap. I did touch on the improvement in annuity. Again, it's based on market condition. We're not saying that it will be forever. But then the other thing that we are also looking at to improve on is to reduce our risk on adjusted exposure, which includes swap exposure, variable rate exposure. So these items it was discussed at Finance Committee about the pros and cons about pursuing the execution. So at the end of the committee meeting, the Finance Committee chair suggested I presented this to the full board so that the full board is aware that we are looking into this as part of trying to improve our financial results. And it's also part of the strategic plan in looking into other alternative ways to provide us with the same outcome, but also generates other benefits, which in this situation, if we pursue it, it will help us reduce the dependency on volume cap so that we can use the volume cap for multifamily. So I'll be happy to take any questions. Again, if I can answer them today, or because we're already running short of time, I'll be happy to answer any questions after the meeting.
Any comments from board members or from the finance board members, from the finance committee board members?
Just really quick, Chairman, I just wanted to reiterate and maybe emphasize a couple of things very quickly that Hazim pointed out, which is that this is, part of the strategic plan, something that was emphasized in the strategic plan and suggested by members, and also when and if they do decide to use this. I didn't want this to be a surprise to board members to hear about it and not, say this is, this is the first time we've heard about it. And so I thought it was important for Hazim to at least cover it. So there's no surprise in the future. And also it's a good thing for us. It's a good option for us, and something that could be used, as Hazim said, depending on market conditions. So thanks, Hazim.
Thank you, Jared. Thank you for the heads up. And Hazim, is this the topic we were going to cover at the special meeting that we're going to have?
Yes, at the October 13 meeting where our financial CSG, the financial advisor that is spearheading the capital study, GC leader is going to touch on multiple products or multiple options that the board can consider to pursue, and one of them is this. This is a vehicle that's currently being used by a number of HFAs, and they've been doing it for the last few months.
Yeah, and so I don't know if anybody else have other questions. Otherwise, at that meeting, we will have plenty of time just to dedicate to this type of programs that CHFA is looking at. Any comments from anybody else? Okay, thank you, Hazim. So going back to approve the consent agenda, if I can have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll move it. This
Move, it's Tim.
Heidi approve it and Tim seconded. Any questions? Shelley, could you do the roll call, please?
Ray Abrahams?
Aye.
Heidi Winger?
Aye.
Ann Foley?
Aye.
Kylie Goslin?
Aye.
Tim Hodges?
Aye.
Catherine McKinnon?
Aye.
Stella Mascara-Bruno?
Yes.
George Perez?
Yes.
Sarah Sanders?
Aye.
Jared Schmidt?
Aye.
Lisa Tepper Bates?
Aye.
It's unanimous.
Motion carries. Before we adjourn, I just want to give the opportunity to some of the board members that were not at the beginning of the meeting. Ann Foley is retiring, and Peg Fitzgerald is also retiring. If any board member would like to say anything to both of them, welcome before we adjourn.
You guys are awesome and we'll miss you.
This is Jared. I'll miss both of you guys. Peg, go Red Sox. Hopefully they can turn things around a little bit. And it's been great working with you, not only on the board, but also up at the Capitol. I'll miss both of you guys a lot, and thanks for all that you guys do.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. And again, thank you, Ann, and thank you, Peg. We will miss you guys. A motion to adjourn, please.
Well, I'll move to adjourn.
And I'll second it. This is George.
And can everybody say aye for
Aye.
Aye.
approving?
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Salem. Bye.